Life is short. Why struggle without knowing your purpose? Buddhist wisdom. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Buddha, have you ever found yourself maybe at your desk, or driving, or even just sitting quietly for a moment, and then, suddenly, a profound question rises within you. What is the point of all this? Why am I here? These aren't random or fleeting thoughts. No, they are deep-rooted questions that stir something inside you, awakening a curiosity. A curiosity to seek out meaning. These questions don't always come with dramatic flair. They sneak up on us, quietly, planting seeds that grow into an overwhelming urge to understand who we truly are. In our busy world, we may be consumed by tasks, by distractions, but the biggest questions in life, they often come to us as whispers, soft, subtle, almost unnoticed, but persistent, always persistent. They don't demand immediate answers. Instead, they quietly nudge us to ask, to reflect. What if the true power of these questions lies not in rushing to find answers, but in sitting with them, allowing them to guide us to a deeper understanding of ourselves? The process of questioning isn't about finding quick answers. It's about embracing the curiosity within us. And in that very act of questioning, we embark on a profound journey of self-discovery, one that leads us to explore not just the answers, but the questions themselves. Welcome to Destiny Lies in Your Hands. Today, we explore the timeless wisdom of Buddhism to uncover the true purpose of life. We'll challenge the common belief that answers must come quickly. Instead, we'll explore how asking the right questions can open the door to deeper self-awareness. Through this exploration, you may come to realize that life's meaning isn't something to chase. No, it's something that emerges from the way we live each moment. Life is a rare and fleeting gift. In the whirlwind of our daily routines, we often take life for granted. We wake up, check our to-do lists, chase after our goals, and assume there's always more time to get everything done. But what if we stopped for a moment to truly consider this? What if life isn't endless? What if it's incredibly rare and fleeting? In today's world, we're often trapped in a cycle of overthinking, always planning for the future or dwelling on the past. We get caught up in an endless stream of thoughts, sometimes missing out on the beauty of the present moment. We forget that to have this human body, this very life, is a rare gift. To be conscious, to ask questions about our existence, these are privileges that not everyone has. Why is it then that despite this rare opportunity, we still fail to fully recognize how extraordinary our lives are? We often overlook the present because we're too focused on what comes next. Yet, the Buddha's teachings remind us that the very fact we are alive, here and now, is something truly precious, something that should be appreciated at every moment. To help us understand this better, the Buddha shared a profound metaphor. Imagine a blind turtle at the bottom of the ocean, surfacing only once every 100 years. On the surface of the water floats a wooden ring. The chances of that turtle's head passing through the ring when it surfaces are the same as the chances of being born as a human being. This is not a story to frighten us. Rather, it's a reminder of how extraordinary it is to be alive, to be conscious, and to have the rare ability to reflect on our existence. The Buddha's metaphor makes it clear. The opportunity to be born human, to experience life as we do, is an incredibly rare event. It's something we should never take for granted. Now, imagine for a moment that you treated each day as if it were as rare as that turtle's chance to pass through the ring. What would change in your life if you truly realized how precious your time is? The Buddha's teachings urge us to live with intention, to fully embrace the moments we have, and to ask ourselves, what have I been taking for granted? What can I do to live more fully, more mindfully asterisk? Knowing that this life is rare and fleeting. This isn't about fear or regret. It's about living with gratitude and fully experiencing each moment. Knowing that our lives, this very breath, are a rare gift, one that should never be taken for granted. Let me share a story with you about my friend Sarah. A few years ago, she was caught up in the whirlwind of career pressures, relationship struggles, and daily responsibilities. She worked long hours, rushing from one task to the next, thinking I'll have time to reflect later. But everything changed when Sarah was diagnosed with a serious illness. In an instant, everything she thought was urgent no longer seemed important. She found herself asking the one question we all eventually ask: what's the point of all this? In that moment, facing her own mortality, Sarah experienced a shift. She realized that life is fragile, that time is incredibly precious, and that we don't always have more of it. She had the same realization that comes with understanding the rare gift of life, a gift like the turtle's chance to pass through the ring. From that day forward, Sarah made a conscious decision to live more mindfully, to appreciate each moment, and to stop taking her life for granted. We all have moments like this, sometimes in times of crisis, but they don't have to be. What if we could live each day with the same awareness Sarah discovered after her diagnosis? Recognizing the fleeting nature of life helps us appreciate the present moment, the things we have right now. The questions we ask about life aren't just passing curiosities. They are an invitation to dig deeper, beyond surface-level goals. Questions like just be happy or do your best are well-intentioned, but they don't get at the heart of who we truly are. True fulfillment comes from exploring the deeper questions and living a life with purpose and awareness. Living with awareness, the power of reflection. When we begin to ask ourselves, what is the purpose of life? We set ourselves on a path toward deeper wisdom and understanding. This journey isn't about chasing fleeting pleasures or success. It's about recognizing that every single moment, every experience, holds the potential to shape us into a more mindful, more present version of ourselves. Ultimately, recognizing the rarity of life encourages us to live with deeper intention. The time to appreciate life is right now. We have the power to change the way we live, to embrace each moment more fully. So, I invite you to take a deep breath and reflect, what have I been taking for granted today? The Buddha spoke of dukkha, often translated as suffering, but its meaning goes far beyond physical pain. It includes the existential dissatisfaction, the unease that underlies much of our lives, that feeling that something is off. Even when nothing is overtly wrong, many of us find ourselves trapped in a cycle of chasing happiness. While running from sorrow, we pursue what feels good: success, love, wealth, recognition. But even when we reach these goals, the happiness they bring is often fleeting. We grasp for more, only to find that joy slips through our fingers. The more we chase happiness, the more elusive it becomes, like trying to catch a mirage. At the same time, we do everything we can to avoid pain, fear, regret, loss. We try to suppress or distract ourselves from these feelings, but the more we resist, the stronger they become. It's like trying to outrun the rain. The harder you resist, the harder it falls. Have you ever found yourself stuck in this cycle? After a moment of joy, you feel an underlying restlessness. Or after sorrow, you try to distract yourself, only to find that the pain always returns. This is the cycle the Buddha taught us to break. True peace doesn't come from holding onto joy or avoiding pain. It comes from understanding the impermanence of both. Life is like waves on the ocean. They rise, they fall, and they eventually recede. Happiness and sorrow rise and fall in our lives, and neither is permanent. When we stop trying to hold on to one or push away the other, we begin to experience peace. This peace comes not from controlling life's fluctuations, but from observing them with awareness and equanimity. We learn to see joy and sorrow for what they are, passing experiences, not defining parts of who we are. By embracing the ebb and flow of life, we find a deeper peace and understanding. Death and rebirth, the ripple of our actions. In moments of unbearable suffering, we might wish for death to offer an escape, to press a reset button, but Buddhism offers a different view. Death is not an escape, it's simply the turning of a page in the endless cycle of life. Life doesn't stop with death, just as each moment flows into the next. We are not liberated from suffering by death. Rather, we are part of an ongoing process where our actions, no matter how small, create ripples that extend far beyond us. Think of it like this: every word we speak, every action we take, has an impact, even if we don't immediately see the effect. Imagine you throw a small stone into a pond. The ripples spread out, touching every part of the water, far beyond where the stone landed. Similarly, our actions, no matter how insignificant they seem, reverberate through time, influencing not only our lives, but the lives of others, in ways we may never fully understand. What if we viewed death not as a final escape, but as a transition, a natural part of the continuous flow of life? This perspective allows us to see that we are not separate from the world around us. Every action, thought, and word we put out into the world ripples outward, creating a legacy that lives on. Rather than fearing death, we can embrace it as part of a greater journey, one that continues to unfold with every action we take. The key is to live with awareness, understanding that every moment matters, and that we have the power to shape the world around us with each choice we make. When you live mindfully, you begin to understand the significance of every word, every action, and every thought. Mindfulness and awareness allow us to see the impact of our actions and shift the course of our lives. When we stop feeding the cycle of desire and aversion, we can change our course. Death loses its power to frighten us when we understand it as part of the journey. Rather than fearing death, we embrace it as an inevitable transition. When we live with mindfulness and wisdom, we make choices that bring peace to ourselves and others. Death becomes less of a fear and more of an understanding, part of the greater cycle of life. The middle path, living with balance. In our journey to find peace and happiness, we often find ourselves trying to fix life. We work hard to eliminate discomfort, avoid pain, and pursue pleasure and success. Yet Buddhism offers a radically different perspective. What if peace doesn't come from fixing life, but from simply accepting it as it is? The Buddha's concept of the middle path invites us to seek balance, not extremes. Imagine you're on a seesaw. If one side is too high or the other too low, the whole balance is thrown off. Similarly, the middle path teaches us that true happiness and peace come from balance, not from avoiding pain or chasing pleasure, but from being present and engaged with life as it unfolds. Let's take an example. Imagine you're at work juggling tasks and deadlines. You could fall into two extremes. On one side, you might become obsessed with achieving more, pushing yourself so hard that you lose sight of the bigger picture. On the other, you might procrastinate or try to avoid the work altogether, seeking instant pleasure at the expense of your long-term goals. The middle path would be finding a balance between these extremes. It's about working with intention and focus, but without burning yourself out. It's about facing challenges, but also knowing when to take a step back and allow yourself to rest, rather than feeling guilty for enjoying life's pleasures. You learn to enjoy them mindfully and with gratitude, without letting them control your actions. This isn't about rejecting life's pleasures or becoming an ascetic who denies themselves every joy. Instead, it's about living with mindfulness and wisdom, facing life's challenges without being swayed by extremes of desire or fear. When we ask ourselves, what is the purpose of life? We often look for answers in the future, a goal to reach, a milestone to achieve. But in Buddhism, the true answer lies in the present moment. The term sati, mindfulness, means remembering the present, remembering that life is happening right now. The answer lies in the present. Life's purpose isn't something we need to chase. It's right here, right now. By living with balance, mindfulness, and awareness, we realize that the purpose of life is in the way we live each moment, not in some distant future. By embracing each moment fully, we uncover the profound beauty of life as it is. As we explore Buddhist wisdom, we see that the meaning of life isn't found in far-off goals or accomplishments. It's something we experience in every single moment. Life is short, and its true meaning lies in how we live. With mindfulness, balance, and presence, the Buddha didn't offer a quick answer to life's deep questions. He offered a path, a way of living that transforms each step we take. So what's the point of life? It's not in the destination, but in how we live right now. Fully awake, fully engaged. With every breath, every choice, every step, the journey itself is the destination. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Buddhist wisdom. Let's continue walking this path together, one mindful step at a time.